I'm back with another multiplayer video in Forza Motorsport. It seems that every week there's gonna be a new theme in the game. The theme for this week is Formula Mazda, and since this is a spec series, everyone is in the same car. We're setting a qualifying lap around Nürburgring GP. We set a 135.0, which is very good, and that's gonna put us in first place in the starting grid for the actual race. So let's start the race. And yeah, this first hairpin is usually a mess in any racing game. It's very difficult to do it clean on the first lap, and in Forza is especially bad. And as you can see, this guy collects me. That's your Forza experience right there. But anyways, let's keep going because we just lost 5 positions in the span of just 1 second. And I guess that makes for a more interesting video to watch because rather than leading the race, we are fighting for positions, right? But let's see how many positions we managed to claw back. So this corner right here, you need to go really tight, then get on the gas as soon as possible to take advantage of that white thing on the left side. And I know a few spots, spots where you can save time in this track, but I'm not that good at it. There are a couple of spots in this track that I struggle with. I kind of prefer the Nordschleife layout, but that's not coming until spring 2024. So yeah, so on this next corner right here, this guy pretty much drives himself into that other car, pushing him off the track, and for some odd reason I get a 0.5 second penalty. I don't know what I did there. I don't know if I collided with anyone. I don't know what the game thought that made it give me a penalty. So skipping ahead a little bit to lap 3, we're right behind Carter in first place. We kind of been consistently gaining on him with each and every corner, and at this point he has a 0.8 penalty, and which is great for us because we have a 0.5, so that's effectively a 0.3 advantage to us in our favor. And let's see if we manage to reel him in this straight. So in this race, in this event, this themed event that's in Forza right now, you can use tune setups, and just like the qualifier series in the Honda, the tune setups cannot change your PI. So as long as it doesn't change your PI, you're good, you're fine. You can load up a tune and get into the race. But there is one caveat: you cannot equip the tune setup if you're in the lobby. You need to back out of it, equip the tune setup, and then you're able to join the lobby with the tune setup equipped. That's something that's been a thing since Forza Motorsport 7. I don't know what this guy thought here. It felt like he was trying to edge me out. And he kind of screwed up both of us. I got a 4-second penalty, which doesn't help me. Make a little bit of contact with João Silva. I back off the throttle to let him keep the position because that's not how I want to overtake him. And yeah, so we lost more positions because of these, I don't know what else to call it other than moronic moves, but anyway, so let's keep going with the race. And this part right here, this guy kind of positions himself and puts me in a bad spot because there was really no way for me to do anything there. I couldn't go left, I couldn't go right. Either way I decided to go, I would have screwed someone up. So yeah, so fast forwarding a little bit to lap 6. This time we are in second place, right behind Drift Snow, and I'm gaining on him on this corner right here. I'm gonna try to go for a move here. He goes through the outside. He keeps his position for a brief second, but he has the inside, so let's see if we can make it work. Yeah, no, I decided to back out so we don't collide it. And Carter re-emerges from the ashes of, I don't know, something. And I'm not gonna go for a move here because that's one of the worst spots to overtake. Nürburgring GP has a lot of great spots to overtake. That surely isn't one of them. Look at what he was about to do. He gets into the pit lane and drives himself into the guardrail. Oh my god! I remember that when I was playing the racing in this event, I laughed at that when I saw it. So Drift Snow kind of caught up to us again. He has the inside. I'm not gonna go for a move here because that's another spot that's not very good for overtakes. You can make it work if you go around the outside, but I wasn't in a good position to pull that off. So I decided to back out, let him through. He's clearly fast, probably faster than me, but let's see if we can do something to at least keep up with him over the course of the next 4 laps. We still have 4 laps left to go. This is a 4 lap event. That's another thing that I like about these events is that they are on the long side, like 10 laps, 15 laps. There was one event that was 25 laps. That's a lot, and I kind of prefer these longer races overall. So we overtook Drift Snow, but the thing is we have a 5 second penalty, and so unless we manage to get enough distance between us, that's not gonna work. And yeah, at some point he overtook me. He got a 8.9 second difference on top of my 5 second 5.5 second penalty. So we ended up finishing in third because of that, but that's okay. A lot of things happened in this race, so let's jump over to the next race around Indianapolis Grand Prix circuit. I'm setting another qualifying lap here, and one another thing that I like about this event is that there's strategy involved, which is something completely new to Forza games. Forza games never really had strategy, so it's a breath of fresh air to see it in this game. And over the course of these races in this video, I was trying to figure out what's the best strategy for these type of events that we're running here. Let's see how it goes. This first corner right here, it's usually a mess as well, but I just managed to come out unscathed. And I'm running hards here. In pretty much every single one of these races, I'm running just enough fuel to get me through the race. And so I can't really waste too much fuel on fighting for positions, otherwise I'm gonna run out. And for this race, I'm running hards because I figured I would try a no stopper. And that's a strategy that I saw some people attempting, and I don't know if that's gonna work for this race, but over the course of the next few races I kind of tried a few different approaches. So something happened to the first place Reese XG. I don't know, he had a massive lead. For some reason he lost it all in that moment. He went off the track. I don't know if his tires were pretty much dead. Maybe he was running softs, but he also kind of slowed down. I don't know if he ran out of fuel. I don't know what happened, but yeah, we got first place and we ended up finishing the race almost 19 seconds ahead of the rest of the pack, which is good, I guess. Not very interesting, but let's jump on over to the third race around Circuit de Catalunya. Again, I'm setting a qualifying lap, and let's take this opportunity to kind of comment on the strategy for this one. So for qualifiers, I'm always running softs and running just enough to do the 3 laps that you can use to set a qualifying lap in this game. And part of the reason why I went with hards there was that there were a lot of straights, so we wouldn't lose a lot of time around corners. If you're doing a race on a track that has a lot of corners, probably mediums or softs are best because you're gonna make up the most time around those sections. So we started out in second place. Again, this is another problematic spot in this track. This guy goes completely off the track there. Uh, Probably missed his breaking point. And we're chasing this first place. I don't know how to read his name without having a stroke. But he's pretty quick. I did a couple races with him. He's pretty quick, mostly consistent. He tends to do a lot of, not a lot, but a few mistakes here and there that cost him quite a bit. So some races I finished ahead of him, some races he finished ahead of me, and kind of messed up here. I went a little bit too wide here, but that's because this is gonna beat you. That's in third place. He kind of rammed me a little bit back there, and he over the course of this race is gonna annoy me a little bit because he's gonna keep poking his head and bumping my car every once in a while, like very impatient. And I understand. I would understand if he was faster, but yeah, I don't know. Sometimes pushing like that, like he just did here, he pushed me and took advantage to get on the inside and get the position. Not the cleanest overtake, not at all, but yeah. So let's see if we can get the position back. We are side by side. We're about to get into this fairly long corner here. He backs out, and we get the position, but we still have this first place to contend with, and we are on a long straight. So he's right behind us. The third place is point one, poking his head to my right side, leaving me no option other than to just follow behind the first place. I can really go to the right, and I can really go full throttle without bumping the other car. This guy collects himself. He drives in front of my car and spins out. And Gonna Beatcha is again right behind us with a 2.25-second penalty. And I'm kind of afraid here because I don't know if he's gonna try to pull another one of those moves where he pushes me wide and goes for an overtake, or if he's gonna hold it back. I don't know. I just know that I keep missing this corner. Second time, he's right beside me. He decides to back out. Of course, this is not a good spot for overtaking either, so that's not gonna help him anyway. So probably good idea to back out uh, of that move. This corner right here is very misleading. You feel like you're gonna be able to run it wide, but you can. And he's again poking his head. He's pretty much side by side. Goes for the inside, takes position. That was a very nice overtake. Gonna give credit where credit is due. And we are trying to pretty much stay in the race, but until we stop fighting for positions, like switching back and forth, that's not gonna help us. And as you can see, fourth place, just spoke this ad again. I got a penalty. I don't know what for. But I guess I can't really complain about it. I think I would take a game that gives too much penalties rather than a game that gives too few penalties. So we are 3 abreast here, and that's a scary thing to think about when you're going to one of the worst corners to go for an overtake. So I do my best to stay out of the mess, but I get spun out of nowhere. I wasn't really expecting it. So we lost a bunch of positions. We're down to 11th place. We were in second just a few moments ago. So that's not a good development, but again, that makes for a more interesting video. So let's see how this one plays out over the course of the next 6 laps that we have ahead of us. So I'm gonna try to make up as many positions as possible. I don't wanna spend too much time and energy in fuel and tires fighting for positions, because that's not gonna help us, especially when the first place has a 6.5 gap. But yeah, so for now, at least judging like in retrospect when I was racing, that was one thing. But in retrospect, I think it may not have been a good idea to go for hards. I probably should have gotten the medium tires. Mostly because there are a lot of corners in this track that require a lot of grip. So the more grip that we have, the faster we were able to get. So we're gonna fast forward a little bit just so we can catch up to a better spot in this race. We are in eighth place at this point, so we clawed back 3 positions in this lap, which is very good because we still have 4 more laps left to go. Let's see if we can uh, get in a position to go for a move on the next corner. Next corner is not a good spot, like I said many times already, but if you position yourself well, you can kind of make it work. So let's see. Yeah, I decided not to go for a move. I wasn't really in a good position to pull that off. And this corner right here, it's best to kind of hug the inside as best as you can so you can get on the throttle as early as possible. We managed to get the position back just fine. I brake a little bit later. You don't need to follow the braking line. That's one thing that I keep repeating, and I'm gonna keep repeating myself. If you're using the braking line, that's just a guide to help you through. That's not like the optimal spots for you to brake. Certain corners, yeah, for sure, but there are a lot of corners where you're better off ignoring the line so you can get a faster sector, pretty much. And that corner right there was one of them. So keep that in mind if you're using the racing line. Learn the track a little bit, at least a little bit, to help you out, rather than just relying blindly on the racing line. So we are in seventh place, point 0.4 behind the next position. We make a little bit of contact. I get a warning. No penalty, no nothing. Good. And our tires are getting close to the halfway mark, which is kind of scary because, like I said in my previous video, tires in this game, they don't go gradually, they go abruptly. So once you reach the halfway mark and your tires are on the yellow, your tires are pretty much gone. They're not gonna respond as they should. You're gonna understeer a lot. Your braking distance is gonna increase a lot. So yeah, I don't know what happened with the Ganabicha, but this happened to me a couple times in the career mode. Multiplayer, I don't think this ever happened, but in career mode, sometimes the car is gonna twitch by itself. Like, you're not gonna do anything with the controller. Sometimes you're driving on a straight line and the car simply twitches out of nowhere. That might have something to do with what happened back there, but that's not not really surprising. Can't say I feel bad for him though. So we get a free position because of that, and we're still pretty much in the fight, trying to reel him in, and trying to force a mistake. Pretty much, I want to stay as close as possible, and you're gonna see that I'm gonna keep gaining on each and every corner. He goes a little bit wide here. We make up 4/10, and let's see if we're gonna go for a move. He goes round the outside. That's a pretty difficult move to pull off, but he does pull off. Very good move by him. Very difficult to pull off. Keep your position around the outside on that corner. I'm not gonna go for a move here. I lock up the brakes a little bit here. And something I forgot to mention, the gameplay that you're seeing on the video right now was captured on an Xbox Series X running Performance RT mode. And I was playing the PC version, the Steam version, since the game came out. No issues at all, no crashes. No issues at all, but I did get a few bugs, like a few infinite loading screens when I upgraded cars or when I bought cars. That was something that happened quite often. But as far as crashes go, I didn't have any until the game became available to the general public. Then the game started crashing for some reason. I don't know what changed. I don't know if it was the NVIDIA driver that became available on the day of, but Something happened, my game started crashing. I kind of lost progress on 4 different multiplayer races because there was a pattern. If I went in for a pit stop, the game would crash on the pit lane, and if I stuck around without going for a pit stop, the game would crash as soon as I crossed the finish line, like hard crash. So I lost like 4 races that I was recording for this video. Not in the Mazda, I was doing I think the GT series. So I figure, okay, since I'm on the Xbox right now, might as well try a series that I haven't tried before. That's why I went with this. So the gameplay that you're seeing throughout this entire video was captured on an Xbox Series X. It doesn't X, so it doesn't look as good as the PC version at max settings, 4K, ray tracing, and everything, but it looks good enough. It's a little bit blurry when you're playing on your TV, especially if you're playing on your monitor, but overall I think it's a pretty decent looking game compared to the PC version. We get we get I was gonna say something that people were gonna take uh, the wrong way, so I might as well just stop here. But he we made contact back there. And yeah, so we are up in third place. We went up a few positions over the course of this lap again, so we are about to cross the line into the last lap, and we still have quite a bit to catch up to first place, but second place is still within reach. I don't think we're going to be able to make up 4.1 seconds against first place, like over the course of one lap, unless something goes really bad. And like you just saw, Quick CX4 ran a little bit wide. That cost him a lot, because we went from 1.5 to, well, pretty much getting the position back, and now we're back where we started. So let's see if we can at least develop a bigger gap just to be safe, because we still have a 0.5 penalty to worry about by the time we cross the finish line. So skipping ahead to the end of the race, we managed to keep second position just fine, and we managed to set the fastest lap time on hard, so pretty good, at least fastest clean lap. So moving on to the fourth race. Now this one is gonna be an interesting race, because this is my first race in the wet with tire wear. I don't think I've reached the point in the career mode, and I don't even know if there is an event in career mode that has you race on wets with tire wear. At least I haven't reached that point yet. And so this is gonna be my first race in the wet with tire wear. So going in, I didn't know how bad the tire wear was gonna be in the wet. I don't know how long wet tires were gonna last. I don't know how much grip I would have. And based on that, this race was kind of a learning experience overall. I think more so than the other races. Like, there are a couple sections in this track that are quite tricky with wet tires in the rain, because this next corner right here, this next S, I'm gonna try to go for I'm gonna try to turn in a little bit too early, and my car goes to the side. It looks like I was trying to block that other guy. I wasn't. The car just went off to the side as soon as it hit the curb on the left side. So the first thing that I learned here is that when you're racing in the rain with wet tires, you want to turn on the corner later than you usually would if you were dry. But yeah, so we're in first place. We got a 0.7 penalty because we cut off the track, and when we went to the opposite side of that corner. But second place has a 4-second penalty, second and third place. So that's something I'm seeing a lot of penalties in pretty much every single race, more often than I see in Gran Turismo 7. Now this doesn't mean anything really. It's just something that I noticed in the races that I've done in multiplayer so far in Forza Motorsport. But pay attention to this bitter Bob Dobb that just climbed up to third place. He came out of nowhere. He wasn't even showing up in the leaderboards in the first four spots. He came out of nowhere. But you're gonna see him a lot more in this race because around this corner right here, that's where I lose a lot of time. I still haven't figured out the best spot to kind of do that corner correctly. So we crossed the line into third lap. This is a 15 lap race. We have just enough fuel to carry us through the entire race without having to refuel. So skipping ahead, I'm going in to swap out tires, and that's my mistake, my biggest mistake, because by this point in this race, I noticed that the track was starting to dry up. So I figured things that the track surface is still wet, so we might as well swap out for new wet tires. And I should have gone for softs because, well, you're gonna see what happens. Basically, I was judging Forza based on my experience with Gran Turismo, and that's in the previous video I said some things that I prefer in Forza Motorsport over Gran Turismo 7, but this right here is one of the things that I think Gran Turismo 7 does a lot better, because when you're racing in the ring in Gran Turismo 7, when the track starts to dry up, it's a gradual process. You can feel the track drying up and your grip slowly getting back as you drive. And in this game, it's not gradual. It's just like the tires. It dries, then you get your grip back, and the wets are not necessary. And I didn't really realize that when I was racing. I could have gone for softs. So fast forwarding to the 15th lap, the last lap, bitter Bob Dobb is right behind us. Why? Because he swapped out to softs. And how do I know that? When I finished this race, I messaged him to congratulate him because this move he pulled right here, coming out of nowhere and going for a move right before the final stretch of the race, the final straight, was awesome. I love when racing games provide this type of experience. Like sometimes winning by a large gap isn't. Sometimes no, it's never fun. It's kind of boring. But when you have this constant fear that you're gonna get overtaken and you need to stay on your toes, that's when I think racing games kind of shine. At least for me. I don't know about you. But yeah, when I messaged him, he told me that he was running softs and he figured I was running wets because he was gaining on straights pretty consistently over the course of the last few laps of that race. So that's how I know he was running softs. So one thing that he taught me that I didn't know, because I told him that I couldn't figure out when the track was good enough to go back to softs, was that he told me to pay attention to the water spray sound. So once the water spray sound goes away, that means you're pretty much good to swap out into swap in into softs, and finish the race. And that's something that I'm gonna keep in mind for the next few races. But let's focus on this one. We fast forwarded a little bit. We started out in second, I think. I skipped ahead to the 14th lap because we're gonna go in to swap out our tires. So we're running mediums. In the previous races, I've done them in hards. This time, like I said, I was trying to figure out the best strategy for these races. And so this one, I'm running mediums. I figured I would just go for a quick stop to swap out into new medium tires and see how that works. And the conclusion that I came to is that for some races, yeah, you might be better off with hards, on hard tires. But for this race in particular, mediums are best because there are a lot of high-speed corners that you need to keep your momentum going. So the softer the compound, the better your grip and the more speed you're going to be able to carry through that corner. So And I really like this layout of this track. This is the mid. I think this is the Mid Ohio Sports Car Course, if I'm not mistaken. I had never raced this track before. No, sorry, this is the Eagle Speedway. I just saw it on the board to the left side. So this is the Eagle Speedway. I haven't raced at least this particular layout. I haven't got to a point in career mode that this track was featured, but I like this layout a lot because of this corner right here, this corner that we just took, where you have to kind of go carry as much speed as you can, like this one right here, go wide and then kind of get on the inside and to take this next corner. I kind of got distracted by this blue car that went off the track, and I missed my braking point. So yeah, we can still make it up. We're 13 seconds behind first place. The seventh place has a 7.1 penalty. That's a lot. So we're up in fourth place because a couple people went in to the pit lane. So we're fast forwarding a little bit to catch up to a more interesting point in this race. Right about here is where I think things get a lot more interesting, because we are 5.8 seconds behind Zed Tramontina, and in the span of just a couple laps, we managed to bring it down to 0.2, and we're gonna go for an overtake around the outside. Next corner is ours, in the inside, and second place is ours. So the only thing that's left to do is to go for an overtake for the first place, but for that we need to catch up to him first. If we just coast and keep going at the pace that we're in right now, we're still gonna finish in first place because of his penalty, but I want to go for an overtake and really get first place before the race ends. So around here he's going a little bit slower. We make a little bit of contact, not intentional, and I assume he was running a different compound. Maybe he was running softs, maybe hards, or maybe he was, yeah, maybe he's on hards on the and it's on its last legs, because he didn't go for a pit stop. He tried to go for a no stopper, which didn't help him at all. So, but yeah, these were some really fun races. I'm really enjoying this Formula Mazda Spec Racing series. It's really fun that all the cars in the field are pretty much the same, save for the tune setups that each individual is running. And it makes for some really interesting races with some great comebacks, as far as I can tell so far. But anyways, hope you've enjoyed it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and see you all in my next video.